No one even asked me if I was faster in my new shoes. Of course I am. Check it out. Yeah, so fast in my new shoes. Actually, they are pretty good. That sunrise is beautiful. Well, good morning or good afternoon or good evening or whatever time it is where you're watching this video. On this review, I am talking about an awesome shoe, the Skechers Aero Tempo, in this pretty bright corally red and blue and lime green colorway. Yeah, this is a pretty spectacular shoe and possibly the best super shoe that you can buy for $170. Although it does beg the question, what makes a super shoe? Is it the components or the performance? Skechers has come out with a refined line of performance running shoes. They have the Aero Spark, your daily workhorse of a shoe that you can use for those tempo runs occasionally. The Aero Burst, that higher stack shoe if you prefer more underfoot stack and cushioning, more plush distance type of shoe. And the Aero Tempo that I have on today, a carbon plated super shoe-like shoe. And as the name implies, is that tempo type of shoe for those tempo runs, fartleks, intervals, and racing. But on this video, I'm going to be talking about the overall build quality and comfort of the shoe, the performance, and the value. Skechers sent me these shoes for the purpose of review, but know that all thoughts and opinions are strictly my own. I'd also request that you subscribe to the channel and give the video a like, drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think of the Skechers Aero Tempo and Skechers shoes in general. These are not your kids' shoes anymore. With all that out of the way, voiceover Chad, why don't you tell us about some of the specs and features of the Skechers Aero Tempo?
Skechers states, set the pace for your best run yet in aerodynamic comfort with Skechers Aero Tempo. This streamlined performance trainer is designed to take runners from speed day to race day and features an exceptionally lightweight and breathable woven TPU mesh upper with the lace up front, responsive hyperburst midsole cushioning, hyper-arc rocker technology, a carbon-infused winglet plate for next-level energy return, plus a durable Goodyear Performance outsole. As for some of those other specs and features, you get a TPU mesh upper, which is very lightweight and breathable, hyperburst midsole and hyperburst pro insole, full-length carbon-infused winglet plate, hyper-arc rocker which creates a smooth transition through toe-off, Goodyear rubber outsole, 37mm of heel stack, 33mm of toe stack for that 4mm drop, weighing in at only 241 grams or 8.5 ounces in a men's US size 9, and a US MSRP of $170. Chad, back over to you.
I'm getting chased by a vehicle. I'm just kidding, it's the city vehicle. They're going around checking for homeless camps and maybe taking care of the trash and stuff. Oh, check out that sunrise. Always beautiful. So I alluded to the Skechers Aero Tempo as being a super shoe, but it's really more of that super trainer type category. As for the overall build quality and comfort goes, I'm really impressed with the build quality. Skechers strip back the shoe so that you get exactly what you need in a more tempo-oriented trainer. They kept things lightweight and not too uncomfortable. So starting with the upper, it is a TPU mesh upper. It's like a very kind of plastically upper, but it's very breathable. It does wrap around the foot in a snug, tight fashion. Definitely that sporty fit around the ankle and the heel. The material is kind of a on the inside of the shoe, it's kind of like a suede-like material. It's soft to the touch, but very lightweight. Same with the tongue. It lays flat, it kind of spreads across the top of your foot. It's very thin. There is just a little bit of padding, although not much. It's awfully thin. And if you tighten up those very thin laces too tight, you will feel them across the top of your foot. So you need to be conscientious of that. The tongue has some light gussets on the medial and lateral side, so both sides of the shoe, which help hold the tongue in place and help give you that secure hold across the top of your foot as well. The length of the shoe is perfectly fine, fits true to size, no need to size up or down, but it is worth noting that on the first couple runs, I did get a blister on the end of my smaller toes. Not all of them, just one of them. So I don't know if the shoe needs some break-in period. After a couple more runs, it seems to be much better in the blister realm. Other than that, no other rubbing, redness, or hot spots anywhere else in the shoe. Coming back to the ankle and the heel, it's cut low enough that I'm not feeling any sort of rubbing in my Achilles or around my ankle either. Now, I did, and I'll show you. On the back of the shoe here, I folded down this little tab here. I just didn't want it to, you know, dig into the Achilles part of my ankle there. So I just fold that down and it seems to stay in place. Not sure if it actually makes a difference, but it's what I did, and no rubbing. And then there's not much padding in the back. There's a little bit in that ankle and heel, just enough to kind of hold your ankle in place. Otherwise, there's not too much structure back there, but again, no slipping. My ankle does feel like it's held in place, and that's about it on the upper overall. I like the design of the upper. I like that it's stripped back, which is what I would expect in a faster, lightweight type of shoe. Oh, and did I mention the upper is extremely breathable? Yes. Okay, moving down into the shoe, into that insole. It is a beaded TPU-like insole, and that insole actually sits kind of cradled inside of the midsole. The midsole wraps up around the side of the shoe, around your foot, just a little bit to kind of help cradle your foot and that insole in place. The insole is, being that it's beaded TPU based, it is very bouncy and responsive. It just feels comfortable. It's bouncy. It's really nice. I love the quality of it as well. Should be extremely resilient and last a long time. Then moving to the midsole. That Hyperburst midsole traditionally in Skechers is nitrogen infused. I don't know if it's nitrogen infused in this shoe, but it feels like it probably is. It's lightweight, offers some good bounce or feedback. It's also soft, although in the Aero Tempo compared to the Aero Burst and the Aero Spark, it does feel a little stiffer, but also more responsive because of that. I think the quality is good and going to last a fair amount of time. I would say at least 300 miles, probably more like 400 miles or so. And then lastly, when it comes to that build quality, you have the Goodyear rubber outsole placed strategically right on the outsole of the shoe, right where you need it, not where you don't, to keep things lightweight. But that Goodyear rubber is very grippy, and from my experience in the other Skechers shoes, fairly durable, should last the lifetime of the shoe as well. So overall build quality, it gets a thumbs up from me. I think Skechers did a pretty good job keeping things simple, stripped back for a lightweight tempo package. And comfort, I would say, is on the kind of fair, medium fair, you know, rating. The tongue could use a little bit more padding, and the ankle could use a little bit more padding as well. Not that it's a problem, but I just think it would help add a little bit to the comfort. I do like the fit, that sporty fit. Moving on with the performance. Talking about the performance of the Aero Tempo, almost messed the name up. I feel that this is probably Skechers' best tempo racier shoe that they've ever made. Remember the Speed Elite from like 6 years ago? and that was a fast shoe, a lot of fun to run in. But the Aero Tempo is the better shoe. I think it performs a little bit better. It's a little bit more comfortable, offers a little more bounce underfoot. You get that full carbon plate, which keeps things just a little bit more springy, particularly when you pick up the pace. But the Aero Tempo is not a shoe that you want to take out on your easy casual runs, your simple long runs like today. See, what am I at? Almost 15 miles of my 21-mile run. I'm trying to keep the pace easy and casual, but it's really hard in this shoe. Skechers, it's all your fault. I'm pushing myself to run faster, and this shoe definitely enables me to do that. You get that super bouncy, responsive underfoot feel. It's not as soft as some other super trainers or super shoes, but I think it's adequate, and it is an overall experience that I really like. What's going on here? Trail closed, no access beyond this point. Man, it's a good thing they put up that sign, because yeah, I don't know what I would do. I guess I have to turn around. Oh, never mind, that's kind of silly. I'll just go around as everybody else has done. You can see the bike tracks here. As for that performance, how am I going to use the shoe, or how would I recommend you use the shoe? I think this is a shoe that you can use for, of course, those tempo efforts, interval sessions. It's a shoe that I would look to use for anything from a 5K to a half marathon, maybe a full marathon. The carbon plate is noticed barely, but it's not overly stiff, meaning that it's going to be a good shoe for the general, less elite population. And as for the performance of that outsole rubber, it does a great job. Really grippy. Love the Goodyear rubber. So overall performance gets a thumbs up from me. It inspires you to run faster, gets you up in your toes with that rocker and that carbon plate. I really like my experience in the shoe. So that then begs the question, how does it compare to some other super trainers? And is it worth $170? Let's talk about that in value. All right, so value of the Skechers Aero Tempo. US MSRP is $170. I think that is pretty competitive, and it puts it in line, maybe even on the slightly cheaper side when it comes to some of the super trainers. Now, a couple shoes that I wanted to compare this shoe to was one, the Hoka Cielo X1 2.0, which is definitely a high-performing super trainer racer. That shoe comes in at $275. It is the faster shoe, but is it $105 faster? I don't know, that's a lot of money. Another shoe that I thought of was the European available Kiprun KD 900X LD Plus. I think that's the name. Another super trainer, super shoe, carbon plated, you know, has a Peeba-like midsole, very fast. Comes in at about 200 pounds or $235 US. Again, more expensive, $55 more expensive. No, I can't math, $65 more expensive. But I don't think Skechers is competing against those shoes. However, it does compete with the Puma Deviate Nitro 3, another super trainer carbon plated shoe, bouncy, nitrogen infused midsole, very similar shoe in some respects. That one comes in at $165, so $5 cheaper. And from my experience, the Deviate 3 is the slightly more comfortable and higher performing shoe compared to the Aero Tempo, but it also has a 10mm drop. So if you're looking for that 4mm low drop feel, maybe the Skechers Aero Tempo is the shoe to consider. I would say the Aero Tempo is worth checking out and considering at that $170 price point. If you happen to get it on sale or have a discount code, yeah, it's definitely worth checking out. Believe in the Run, talking about the Aero Tempo, said that this shoe is more Aero than Tempo. I disagree with that. I think this shoe is definitely more oriented for that tempo type of running. Skechers says this is kind of that aerodynamic focused type of shoe, and actually if you look at the sides of the shoe here, it's kind of got these like design, I don't know, flares, cutouts or grooves in the shoe. It reminds me of the Nerf footballs that I used to play with as a kid in the 90s in the elementary school, but you know, the ones with those grooves that would help the ball spiral, so when you threw it, just right, those things were pretty cool. There you have it. Those are my thoughts on the Skechers Aero Tempo. For that $107 price point, is there a shoe that you would consider instead of the Skechers Aero Tempo, or is the Aero Tempo one that you are considering? Drop a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Alrighty, I am approaching mile 17 of my 21-mile long run today. Again, trying to keep things casual, but it's really hard. So subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. I've got a lot more shoe and gear review coming your way. I'll see you on the next video. Remember to be consistent, express gratitude, and enjoy every mile as I am today in the Skechers Aero Tempo. I'll see you on the next video. Bye now.